Hello, welcome back to another video. Today, as you can probably tell, I am in pajamas and I'm very comfortable. I was flaring really badly yesterday. I had a really bad pain levels and really tired, really fatigued. And I already had this video planned and I thought that because today I feel a little bit better, I really wanted to talk about it, which is the difference between chronic fatigue and just being tired. I hope that looks okay. I hope the lighting is okay. I'm sorry if it's not very good. I'm trying, but so chronic fatigue versus tiredness. I have a little help here just in case I forget something. Severe fatigue is a very common symptom of fibromyalgia, and it's probably one of the hardest ones to explain to other people because I think most people have experienced pain. They may not understand how intense our pain is, but they do understand the pain. But fatigue is not something that everyone's experienced or not very commonly. So it's a little bit harder to explain. Being tired is a natural thing. Everyone has been through it and experienced it. It's, if you had a busy day at work, or if you went to the gym or did something that was a little bit more, it's normal to be tired. But fatigue is it's a much more intense feeling. It can be caused by physical or emotional or mental exertion. And I say exertion in bunny ears because the amount of exertion that takes a regular person to feel fatigue is not the same amount that it takes us to feel fatigue. The amount of exertion that it takes for us to feel fatigued may be very small or very big. It depends from situation to situation, person to person, day to day, and it just depends. One of the other differences between being tired and being fatigued: if you're very tired, you go to sleep, and the next day you probably will feel refreshed and less tired, at least. And with fatigue, a lot of the times we go to sleep and we can't sleep, or we have a very hard time doing it, and then we don't feel refreshed the next day, and it doesn't go away just by sleeping. The fatigue that we feel is like waking up and feeling like you are not strong enough to get out of bed. I feel like I start the day with a tiredness that most people feel at the end of the day. And I don't remember a day in the last year that I woke up and I felt refreshed and energetic and ready for the day. And it's also very common for us to feel lethargic in association with fatigue. The easiest and the most common way to explain fatigue is to compare it to how you feel when you have the flu. So people, when they have the flu, it knocks them out completely. And that's sort of how we feel most of the time. It's obvious that when we find a treatment that works for us and a balance that works for us, we do tend to feel less fatigued. It may be less intense and less often. When we flare, obviously it will be worse, but on our daily lives, it may be less impactful. However, I find that fatigue is really fluid. Some days it feels like your whole body is made of lead and you don't have the energy to it's just too heavy for you to move and to lift your arms and to walk and stuff. Really? So it may feel like your whole body is made of lead and it's just too heavy and too difficult to move, and it feels like just getting from your bed to the sofa is like running a 10K. You are extremely tired afterwards. Why? Okay, so it may feel like just getting from bed to your sofa is like running a 10K. Other days, we have a normal person's amount of energy. Those days are pretty rare when we have a lot of energy. I think most of the time when we feel normal, it's just we don't feel fatigued, we just feel normal tired. But when we have one of those days where we just have so much energy, we don't know what to do with it, I always find that I'm kind of skeptical about it, it's too good to be true. Also, when you are in a flare, your energy levels will be different to when you're in your normal state. The fatigue will be a lot more intense than when you are feeling better. So we call it chronic fatigue because even though it's fluid and even though we don't feel it every single day, it is there most of the time for long periods of time. Another reason that I find fatigue to be fluid in fibromyalgia is that it may be just physical, it may be just mental or emotional, and it may be the two things together. So it's not always the same. When we have physical fatigue, it's that feeling that I just mentioned about your body being super heavy. You know, washing your hair may be overwhelmingly hard, and maybe even brushing your hair. It's hard to change into a different clothes, which is why I'm still wearing pajamas at 4 in the afternoon. When I have really severe physical fatigue, it's really hard for me to walk. Even just going to the toilet makes me like breathless, and I'm just out of breath and super tired. Sometimes when I had really bad flares at the beginning, I would get tired from chewing. Like I would have to stop eating because chewing just was tiring and I couldn't do it anymore. It really impacts your life. You can't do any physical activities. But you may still be able to concentrate or to like speak and have a conversation. You may still be able to work if you work from like a laptop, you know, because your mind might not be fatigued and you could like generally just use your brain. However, when you have mental fatigue, it's just like your mind is made out of soup. Like your brain is tired. It feels like thinking or making decisions or making choices or concentrating on anything is super difficult, and it's just like not happening basically. We also often feel apathetic on this kind of day. Just fighting all of these symptoms is exhausting, and sometimes our mind is just like drained from trying to keep up. And on days like this, when we have mental fatigue, our bodies may feel okay. So maybe you can walk and you can do things fine, but you can't concentrate. You don't seem to be able to like fulfill any task because you just keep losing track of what you're doing and stuff. Then we have those days where both things are happening, and those are just so hard. That's why I said that it's fluid, because it changes and it's never the same thing. So unfortunately, there is not a lot of information on this topic. And when I say not a lot of information, I mean not a lot at all. Like, I'm used to researching this kind of topic, but this was really hard to research. There was not information about it at all, and most of the information that I found wasn't really about fibromyalgia and the fatigue that we feel. It was sort of comparing chronic fatigue syndrome to fibromyalgia, or seeing how they overlap, or just talking about chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a separate condition. The cause for this symptom is like not known at all. There's a few theories that are very limited. Obviously, because we don't know what actually causes fibromyalgia, we can't know what causes the symptoms either. But there is more evidence about other symptoms than this symptom specifically. There may be two reasons for this. One is that it's not that complicated, and it's just we're tired because we're sick, and that's the easy explanation, or maybe something more complex that I haven't figured out yet. So one theory that I found suggests that the fatigue comes from our bodies trying to deal with the pain and the other symptoms of the condition, because the constant release of pain signals in our nerve causes us to grow tired, and as our body basically is like fighting the symptoms and fighting itself. In addition, the fact that it's so hard to sleep really definitely will contribute to our fatigue. So it's also possible that it's a bit more complex than just we're tired from not sleeping and from our body being in pain. One of the other theories that I found was that the cause for fibromyalgia is that it's a mistake of our immune system, which would mean that our condition is autoimmune. And in that case, it would mean that our immune system is basically attacking itself, and that's why we're so tired, because severe fatigue is also a very common symptom of every single autoimmune disease. Personally, I don't agree with this theory as much. I don't find that it's as compelling. I lean more towards the theories that fibromyalgia is a neurological condition. I've not only found more evidence and more research to support that fact, but it just makes more sense to me because of all of the research that I found, not just about fibromyalgia itself, but like symptoms of fibromyalgia. More research that I have seen and that I've read points towards it being neurological, and I have not seen a lot of research for it being autoimmune, but it might be a neurological autoimmune disease, so we don't know. And that's kind of the sucky part of it more than anything else, I think. The problem remains that we have no idea what the hell's going on, and this is just the common thread in every single video that I do. I give you the theories, I give you the research that I found so far, if I have found research, which in this case I haven't. This video isn't so much for you to know sort of what is happening in your body, because that's what my idea is explaining fibromyalgia to people and sharing with people who have it the research that there is and the information that we have so that you are more informed about your condition. And this topic is not something I could do that, because most of the things that I talked about isn't really research, it's just my experience. The fact that there isn't any information on this makes it even more important that we talk about it. Now, for how to manage it, I guess. I'm gonna give you a few of the things that I think will help, but it's still gonna be extremely difficult, and it's not like, here's how to handle it and you can get rid of it. Like, that's not gonna happen. Number one for how to manage it is working on your sleep schedule and your sleep pattern and making sure you have like as healthy of a sleep schedule as possible. The next thing is avoiding caffeine. Finding, at what time sort of is a good idea for you to stop drinking caffeine. Making sure you are eating enough and you are eating nutritious food that will help your body have better fuel to, do things and to fuel itself with. And also drinking a lot of water. I always say that in every video for everything, because drinking water is actually a really crucial part of our health. Exercising consistently, but not intensively. One day I have to make a video about this. You don't have to exercise like intensely for it to be good for you. Actually, that makes it worse, because if you exercise really intensely, you're gonna get yourself into a flare, and then you're not gonna do it for like 3 weeks, and then you're gonna go, it's just like a really vicious cycle. Whereas if you go on a walk, even if it's a short walk every day, and some days it will be longer and some days it will be shorter, but every day you go on a walk, that is consistency, and that is what will help you feel better. Moving regularly helps your body regulate itself better, and it will help you sleep better, and you'll overall, like in time, it will help you manage your energy better. Another thing that I think will help is getting as much sleep as you feel that you need. Forget about other people's, like how much other people need to sleep, like that's not your problem. If you need to sleep 11 hours every night, try and do that. If you need to take a nap, try and do that. The other thing is making sure that your doctor is aware of how severe your fatigue is, if it is very bad. So if you have anything to add to what I said, please do, because I love getting more information as possible, and it'll be helpful for other people who maybe watch the videos or like go down to the comment section. So that would be really cool if you could do that. Another thing that I would like to mention is if you wanted any sort of like Christmas or like festive content, you can let me know on like Twitter or Instagram, or you can like leave it in the comments. I don't really have any ideas, to be honest. I love Christmas, and it's something that I really, really love and I really enjoy, but I don't know what kind of content would fit in with our topics and the things that we talk about here. So let me know if you want something specific, or any ideas, let me know. And I'm sorry that the last couple weeks have been a bit inconsistent upload wise, because I've just been I don't know, it's been hard. So I'm trying my best, and I genuinely love doing this. If you are also very tired and you're not feeling great, hey, me too. I don't mind like sitting here in my pajamas talking to you guys, because that is the reality. Like some days I feel great and I am, energetic and I'm chatty and I'm like going, and other days I'm just like, so I don't have a word for it, I'm just pooped. It's important to be transparent, and it's important to show all of the sides and all of the aspects of life with fibro, because being honest is the only way that I know how to do things. So here we are. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this video because they're drilling again and I can't anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a like, and like I said earlier, a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel, because it would make my day for sure. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!